Hello, everybody. Hi. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to a special edition of Once Upon a Game. I'm Eric. I'm EricVulgaris here, and I'm the host of this cool little one-shot show. And I'm so excited to bring the Sprawl to you guys today. For those who don't know, Sprawl is a little cyberpunk powered by the apocalypse game, and we're going to be playing for about 4 or 5 hours or so, or 4 hours today. And we're just going to be like a movie. So this is typically for like a campaign kind of style of game, but we're going to do like a movie one-shot today. So we're going to create characters, we're going to create our world, and we're going to explore and play to see what happens today. And let's have a good time, shall we? Let's go around the table here and meet our guests today. Let's go around clockwise, I guess. So let's start with AP. So AP, how are you doing?
I mean, I know we're not supposed to spoil stuff, but pro tip, everyone else here is a game designer or works in the game industry except for...
So we'll figure it out. So anyways, Adam, how's it going? You're muted, Adam.
Yeah, trying to be polite. Here I am. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. No, I'm excited. I've been wanting to play this game for ages. It's been on my radar. Like, Hamish has been working on the Sprawl for a very long time. It was one of the first, like, I'm going to make an Apocalypse World hack, but as games go, people have real lives and stuff gets delayed. But I'm so glad that it's out, and I'm excited to play it.
Yeah.
I think that this game has my favorite name for a when you die move.
Oh, yeah.
Flipping through it, I was like, I had to stop and be like, what the fuck is that? Oh, I get it. Yep. Also, the digital countdown clocks was a cute choice. So,
yes, really.
Yeah. So I'm pretty jazzed. I've been looking up pictures. I found a cool picture for my character, and also I'm really excited about getting to play a game with John and Steven. We've like GM'd for each other before, and but. It's very rare that we get to play and have somebody else GM for us. So that's true.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that, and hopefully I can live up to your guys' principles and everything from being everything else. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, if you, I'd be impressed if you could, because God knows we can't.
Yeah.
Literally, the worst thing about giving people advice about doing anything is when you don't do it yourself. And they're like, yeah, but at 42 minutes 46 seconds in this video, you said not to do that, and now you're doing it. You're like,
yep, exactly. Those GMPCs coming out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Well, yeah. So
I mean, like Neuromancer, obviously. Neuromancer's the obvious choice because that's kind of where it all started. But I feel like Cyberpunk is one of those things that like gets built on top of as it gets older. And what some people think of as Cyberpunk, looking at you, Shadowrun, isn't really. But it still gets to fit in. Like the interesting thing between Neuromancer and Snow Crash is that Snow Crash is really like kind of post-Cyberpunk and kind of making fun of Cyberpunk in a lot of ways, but it still feels like it belongs in the canon. So
yeah,
I'm old school that way. Neuromancer is always going to be the main go-to for me.
Oh, for sure. I feel like Neuromancer would probably be mine as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And John, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for the Sprawl. Like Adam said, this has been a game we've all been itching to play for a while, and it turned out really well. Hamish should be very proud of his work here, and I love Cyberpunk, so I'm ready for some hot cyber action.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I think
John and I have been practicing our cybering leading up.
We've been cybering like
like every day, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still a little sore. The touchstones that they already said, Snow Crash, Neuromancer, obviously, Ghost in the Shell, of course, big cyberpunk touchstone. Probably the first moments of Ghost in the Shell are burned into everyone's mind as the going from the digital overlay into the real world with the helicopters. Like that's sort of emblematic of cyberpunk. But the show right now that it turned into cyberpunk kind of out of nowhere, House of Cards is like a really cool take on cyberpunk that doesn't bill itself that way, but it totally is, especially with certain characters that I won't spoil. It takes a lot of cyberpunk themes and
yeah, it does.
hacking, and it's very cool the way they handle that stuff. So I've been digging on that as a touchstone for Cyberpunk lately.
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, that's super good. And last but not least, Steven.
What's going on?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped about this. Like when I first heard that there was a Cyberpunk powered by the Apocalypse game, I was like, yes, I want to jump on that. So, I'm stoked.
Yes.
Yeah, like like the rest of you guys said, like Neuromancer is one of the first books that I ever read that was punky, and I was just like blown away by it. I also enjoyed, though it was a pretty different feel. I really enjoyed Otherland by Tad Williams. But then the claws. Come here.
Wow.
Yeah.
We warned you about synthesizing piranha genes for Kiska.
Cats, come here. The thing that I'm into these days that's all Cyberpunk is Netrunner, which I play on a weekly/bi-weekly basis, and it's just so fun.
Did you get that Netrunner Android universe guide book? Is it out yet? Is that a thing?
I didn't get it. I don't know if it's out yet, but
yeah. No, I'm so glad you mentioned it. Yeah, no, I went ahead and pre-ordered it, so I'm waiting for my copy.
Nice.
A friend of mine recommended. It's like, dude, did you see this? And I was like, no, because he's a big Android runner, and I was like, hey, do you have any references for some Android or Netrunner lore? And he was like, this book, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's super cool. I saw a couple of people already have a copy though on Twitter, so what I've seen is really cool. So yeah, well, let's do some Cyberpunk stuff. We're gonna talk a little bit about the rules and what our agenda is today for our game. But before we do that, I have a meta rule for Once Upon a Game that I want to go over real quick. It's part of the social contract stuff of gaming kind of things. It's like the X card or the Veil. I know we're all kind of cool. We may or may not have met each other or played games or GM'd for each other before, but even so, we still don't know exactly what could be triggering for each other. So in case there's anything that's very, very I do not want this in my game, feel free to do an X on your screen like this, or a tiny one, or message me privately if you don't want to disclose it openly. And that is if you're ever uncomfortable or triggering. Say somebody brings up talking dolphins, and I had a bad no talking dolphins. It's gone like magic. It's out of the game. We may have to discuss a little bit about where's the boundary for that, but you will never have to explain or justify why you're taking this out of the game, because we trust you as players. This is sort of a break glass in case of emergency thing, because this is a one shot, and I want you guys to bring ideas. I want you to push forward with whatever you want to do, knowing that this is sort of like our escape valve for pressure release in case things get too intense for somebody. But that does mean that we all have to believe in it, and that does mean that you may have to step forward in a group thing that might be kind of uncomfortable. But right now, do we all agree that we want to go forward with that? Is that something you want to do? The Veil is also an option. If you don't know, the Veil means that hey, you don't want something removed or excised from the game, but you just can we fade to black on that? Can we just take it off screen? That's also an option as well. Just some things just so we feel safe when we game, right? Cool, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Cyberpunk stuff. So what we're kind of doing today, right? The Sprawl is a game about a dystopian future of unchecked capitalism that's full of high tech and low life. We'll be playing as hard-bitten professionals, running missions for profit, revenge, redemption, loyalty, or just to feel alive.
It's weird because in most role-playing games, you play someone who's really different from you, like an elf or a dwarf or whatever. But this is what I do every day.
Yeah.
It's this is my life. Corporate dystopia.
Of corporate dystopia. Yeah.
The distant future of 1997.
Try to imagine it if you can.
If you dare imagine.
Every landline is connected into one giant network.
Some kind of internet.
Connected network. Yeah, exactly.
Called the line web.
Yes, it's inside the digisphere.
Oh, you must surf the waves of bits and zeros. Mm-hmm. We'll decide here at the table what our world and mission will be, and the world and mission will actually just kind of digitize and actualize around our decisions that we come up with. And as we play today, our world will continue to evolve, and right before our eyes, corporations and our relationships and our characters will enhance, develop, and grow. And be careful to not lose yourself in the sprawl. Okay? So
Nice.
that is the opening. Yeah. That is the opening for the game. The agenda...
Speaking of segues, my character rides one all the time.
That's my dystopian professional inspectors group, who are the villains in a game with me and AB Gaming had. They all rode segways.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
that's right.
It's the
through windows.
Segways are the perfect symbol of authority. Just needless technological excess. So this is the agenda for our game today. So in case we ever are unsure what we're supposed to be doing, we need to make this game, we need to make the Sprawl dirty, high-tech, and excessive. We need to be filling our characters' lives with action, intrigue, and complication. We need to be entangling our characters in the Sprawl, and we need to play to find out what happens. That's what we're doing today. That's our agenda. That's what's on the board. Okay. So with that being said, I have some principles as the MC for the game today that we'll follow. I won't bother reading them out, but they all flow from principles into the agendas for this game today. That's what I'm going to be using as my Polaris for this game. That's what I'm going to be guiding everybody to. And now let's jump to some care gen, shall we?
Let's do it.
Yep. So we were talking a little bit in an email chain about what kind of playbooks we want to do and that kind of stuff. Here's a chance now. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what playbooks we chose. Maybe our name, maybe a move or so, but you don't have to give it a description or anything just yet. Instead of giving everything a spiel at once, it's going to be sort of a Q&A kind of session while we're making characters together, because we're going to be building the world together based on the questions that we ask, and our characters together as we kind of interweave our stories and stuff like that. Okay? Because this is a one-shot. We're not going to be playing to this is our first meet, right? We met before, we know each other, and this is going to be a cross-section of our slice of our life. Okay?
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Cool. So, who wants to go first? What playbook do you want to do?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, John.
I'm so excited.
Awesome.
So for the playbook, it was a hard choice actually, because they're all really cool, and several of them would have fit for the idea. But I chose the killer, which is the sort of what you would expect. It's the obvious cybered up, physical, violent, street samurai kind of character. And my character, her name is Roxy Crash. That was her fighting name. She was a cyber MMA fighter. That's her background. I felt like killer was good for that. Although she could have been a hunter or infiltrator even, or other kind of physical types like that. But
sure,
the kind of thug felt like a good killer match for me.
Yeah. Who do you regret fighting?
Oh man, that's awesome. That's a good question. So she's not a regret type of person.
Yeah.
She's very like a shark, She's just, she moves forward to the next thing. She doesn't admit her faults. She doesn't acknowledge failure or anything like that. So I think maybe if I can twist your question, I think she regrets being driven out of the fight game before she fought for the championship. She never got to.
Oh, okay.
She never got to fight her nemesis, and so she never got to prove that she was actually the best.
Oh, okay, yeah. It would have been like the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, and something happened, and they got canceled, and someone and the Roxy analog of that had to get kicked out of the. Okay, how did you get kicked out? Was it something you actually did, or was it something like someone was it like a haze of controversy?
I think it was skullduggery, like the sponsor of the event, like they were hacked, and anonymous kind of took over the event and used it as a political platform, and all the financing got pulled out from the event, and it was one of the things like the fighters couldn't control it. Like our managers all got kind of our fight camps went bankrupt, and our secret guerrilla training compound in Guatemala was like raided by they got swatted, kind of. There was some kind of organized shadowy thing that happened that like eliminated everybody. All our fight licenses got pulled, and
Oh no.
so I think she's just been spiraling down out of that, like trying to land with a crew that has some kind of reach in that world, that like things that she can't punch, like her career was taken away by this sort of digital insurgency thing, and she doesn't know who or why, and she doesn't have the skills to deal with that.
So you said that they're like an anonymous group?
Yeah, something like
Sure.
that, I think. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about that. Like, if it should be like an activism kind of thing, or maybe it was like, it's like maybe a more...
I want to know, who was your sponsor, and how did they play dirty?
Who was Roxy's sponsor?
Yeah, like you said, there was a sponsor that got hacked. So like, who was it?
Yeah, it was Coke Fashion. It's like the designer.
Oh, is that like KOCH?
No, like Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
Like the designer clothing arm
Yeah.
of Coca-Cola.
Sure.
As opposed to like Coke Automotive. Or,
Yeah, totally. I love the idea that like it's not about taste test now. It's literally my Pepsi can beat up your Coke. Like, you want to know what drink to drink? Well, here's some fights to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they're so diversified now. Like it's this interesting trivia fact of history. Did you know that Coca-Cola used to just make beverages?
Right. Yeah. What the fuck? That's weird.
Yeah.
Now they own Atlanta.
And
Yeah.
who was your nemesis? You said you had a nemesis in the fighting ring that you never got to fight. Do you know who they are?
Oh yeah.
Maybe what their fighter tag was.
Yeah. It was definitely a dude.
Yeah.
It was Steel Titan was his fight name.
Old Nemesis Jones, they called him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still Titan. Awesome.
Titan. People call him Titan or the Titan, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's no holds barred, no weight classes, no limits on drugs or cyberware kind of battles. So just anything goes. Anybody can show up. And I think they were like the reigning champ, and Roxy was kind of a celeb, like a Ronda Rousey type, like like a heel sort of. Always talking shit and saying she was the best, but then she never got to prove it.
Yeah. That's I like that a lot. Awesome. Okay.
There's a lot of pent up anger that she's working out by smashing people in the face.
Yeah. Okay.
The traditional fashion.
Yeah, the normal fashion.
And what part of the city do you live now? Like, what kind of place do you live in? How's it unsafe?
How is it unsafe?
Because you live there?
Yeah.
I am the danger.
I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think she's. Well, I mean, I definitely want to be closely connected to one of the other PCs, so I'd like to be crashing on someone's couch or something.
Sure. What's the name of the district that they live in, of the mega city, of wherever they live?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
What's the name of that neighborhood?
What city are we thinking of? Do we want to do South America, Europe, North America?
I was thinking like Cuba or Miami. That was my first
Miami.
guess.
Miami's cool.
The Miami Megaplex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It's hot. It's
Yeah.
it's very yeah, that's cool.
Dank hollow. So dank.
So dank.
The Miami Megaplex.
Yeah. I wish my Spanish was stronger. It'd be cool to have a cool like Spanish name for the area.
I mean, Little Havana would work, but
That's true. Yeah.
Cyber Havana was suggested.
Now, see, Cyber Havana is not a real place. It's on the internet. You gotta go there.
yeah. All right.
Let's see.
I mean, like the barrio would work. Like if it's the slums. Or we can just leave it as is right now, and we'll talk to someone else.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
La cuneta means the gutter or the ditch.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Good.
I like La Cuneta. That's good.
Ooh. Okay. La Cuneta.
Yeah, and I think this is a something else we talked about in the email thread was about like sort of meme slicing or trend setting and that sort of thing. So I think it might be cool if this area was like that. It was like the like Williamsburg before it was gentrified, or parts of Miami are like that too, actually, where there's this clash between, you know, the kind of like poverty and like 5-star or Michelin star restaurants and stuff, and that's classic cyberpunk, right? To have that, so maybe there's like an abandoned like luxury condominium high rise that is filled with squatters, and also at the top there's like security levels and helicopter pads and stuff, and
oh I love it. Oh yeah, that's real good. Narrow.
But like the bottom 50 floors, you're just super dangerous. Like you don't go down there.
Yeah, and upper levels, condos. Awesome. So then, like, there's a lot of like bars and clubs and nightlife all over this place, then, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a lot of mixing. Like the other touchstone that I didn't mention was Dark Knight Returns, which has that like
violence,
weird, like, and Blade Runner does this too, where like there's this press of people everywhere, and the ultra rich aren't necessarily like off in a different place necessarily. You know, they kind of are slumming in the Snake Club, but they're in this little bubble of security and bodyguards and
like the VIP sections of things are a thing. In fact, they're more common than like today.
Yeah, it feels like with Cyberpunk sometimes, and Shadowrun does this sometimes, where they literally like section off the world. Like, here's the super fancy part of the world, and you can't go there. And that makes sense in that haves and have-nots kind of way. But I like that Cyberpunk vision that's very much, you know, the president of Mitsubishi or whatever is at the club tonight. And he can do that because he's this mortal cyber guy with laser bodyguards and shit. And
La Cuneta is really cool. I think I got a pretty good picture of it. I really like the idea of Miami with like the neon and like the palm trees, like sort of like the what's it called? Miami, not Miami Vice, but what's the Hotline Miami?
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like Hotline Miami, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Hotline Miami, Blade Runner is okay.
Cool.
Well, we talked a little bit about the mimetic properties of like ultimate fighting as a thing and how it's sort of percolated throughout all like violence is way more normalized in the version of the world that we're in. So people are more willing to jump to like knifing somebody for something small because it's like that's what you do, and that's why the like organized combat sports are so popular.
Like the bouncer at the club, he doesn't turn you away, he like breaks your back.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, it's just like really horribly violent, but that's just how it is.
Oh, that's so now like imagine what kind of culture that would do with education, right? Like there'd be no like what would you do? Why would you go to school? I can just train to be a fighter.
Because that's what school is.
I'm gonna go big. Like,
it's like Pepsi Cola presents Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, grades 5 through 6.
Well, and this is the ugly lens we can turn on our own world, right? That's the cyberpunk thing. Like, to get out of poverty, that's what a lot of people do. They become fighters. They become athletes.
Like
we just take that to the 211 kind of.
And there's no, I don't. Yeah, awesome. Okay, I'm feeling that. Cool. So, who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to play the pusher. That's the playbook I'm going to use. I think the name that I settled on was Hollis Halloran. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Hollis is a like a cool hunter, basically. Like her ideology is that there are things that are cool and there are things that are not cool. And right now, mixed martial arts is cool. But thinner even than that is like finding out what about, she's particularly like fashion focused. So emergent fashion trends by way of non-fashion necessarily related things. So seeing things that people emulate in out of context environments. So if they see a popular MMA fighter wearing a certain type of clothing, how that starts to get like built into global fashion overall, and like non-combat applications of combat wear, stuff like that. So she's all about kind of like both following trends and like figuring them out, but she tries to stay kind of ahead of that stuff. So she's the one who says to, you know, like Nike, McDonald's footwear, you know, next season you need brown. Brown is the thing. And they'll be like, yeah, but nobody's wearing brown. I'm like, give it 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you were sort of like a, ear to the ground. You're always hunting the next sort of like fashion sense, or like the next,
Yeah, I mean, fashion is the thing when we see the characters right now. Like, she's not a designer by any means. She doesn't make clothes. She just can look at something and be like, that's going to be cool. That's not cool. I know these things.
Sure.
And so she sells that information, but also part of her jam, I think, is making those things come true too, right? Like, I'd love it if I was somehow like not directly responsible, but involved in Roxy's like not getting to fight that last fight, because it would have changed her trajectory, and I need her like the way she is now, right? Where she's more valuable as a meme generator, as the like disgrace fighter who never got a chance.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like at some business meeting or whatever with a bunch of like shadowy corporate figures. I was like, all right, don't let her fight. She's better. She's better to us, like in this other space.
You created the brand of this hacker activist group that as cover for your advertising scheme.
Well, and then like the hacker activist group is a meme too, and people like, you know, wear black hoodies and Guy Fawkes masks or whatever because that's the fashionable thing to do, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Okay. I'm digging that a lot, actually. Where does Hollis set up shop?
I don't think that Hollis doesn't like have a home anywhere. She travels, so she's got everything that she needs basically on her all the time, and she tends to live in paid for like housing by way of whoever she's working for. So,
like contracts.
Yeah, sometimes it's part of her deal. It's like, you fly me to wherever it is I need to do my work, you put me up. So sometimes it's like high class hotels, sometimes it's like some shitty part of town. It really depends on where she needs to get placed.
So are you on a contract right now?
I mean, that'll sort of depend on the group at large. I figure probably like I'd be the one that would get like jobs for us as a group. I figure I'm probably the one who assembled the team for whatever it is that we're doing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Possible corp connects. Okay. All right. And so what have you decided on any sort of like directives?
Not particularly. I mean, I've kind of just got like her general vibe, but I was gonna wait until we've got a better idea of what we're doing.
Totally. Okay. All right. So I like how the hacking activist group then kind of connects you and Roxy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm like, if Roxy ever found out, I'd get my face punched in. But you know, I would also have the opportunity to be like, look, Roxy, like this, you're better off. You're more valuable because of these things, and that might be a thing that would come up. But I think Roxy and I are actually pretty close. Like, I'm probably like, we're probably buds. Like,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Like, I worked for like the your publicist or whatever for a while, or like I helped you build your brand.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, got you started or something. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, maybe we knew each other before, like growing up. Maybe even like we go back to before we had our careers and stuff. Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
So did you guys not grow up? You didn't grow up in Miami, or did you?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So then, would you have family here?
I think my parents probably aren't around, and I don't have any brothers or sisters.
Yeah, you don't have strong connections to your family.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Roxy? Is Roxy just too independent?
I think she's an orphan. I think she's she came out of the, or not an orphan, that's too nice a word for it. Like he was in the legion of kids that run the streets.
Oh yeah.
In Miami, and she made a name for herself smashing people, and that's how she got, noticed by a coach or a recruiter or something. But she at family, not really, but she like is connected to a lot of like, street level, like people who've grown up to be cops and drug dealers and that sort of stuff.
I kind of get the sense of like Ender's Shadow, like the orphan kids in like New Amsterdam. If that helps anyone's reference. Like there's like these child, or even like Clockwork Orange, just like child gangs are just a thing everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Just there's less middle income groups. It's mostly just poor, and then just the security gates around everything.
Yeah, the middle class doesn't really exist.
Yeah, I think we might have like straight up, and maybe this was the fighter thing too, like indentured servitude type contracts where you sort of like wage slave yourself to a corporation or something, or the government, and that's there is no middle class, and even the like poverty class has to like sort of indenture themselves or something to get a cred stick so they can have get paid or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, especially if we're talking about like large scale corporatization, like across the board, they've probably privatized a ton of stuff. So it's like you buy your social insurance number from one of 6 or 7 like megacorps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hollis, how do you connect yourself to like how do you get contracts? What's your normal like routine to get a contract? Is there somebody you reach out to? Is there like a network? Is there like a bulletin board, like a BBS kind of thing or something?
I think I've gotten to the point where
do people approach you?
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I have a reputation for just being able to predict these things, so people come to me.
Okay, people come to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there one group that comes to you more often?
No, I don't think so. Like, I think it's just like when companies decide they need, like, I think it happens a lot when they're starting to get into a new thing. Like if a company is starting a new sub company, or they want to like rebrand or whatever, they'll get me on board. I've been like pretty entrenched for the last like year or so in the like combat sports arena, but in lots of different ways. Like sometimes like literally like designing locations, right? About being like, no, you can't put doors there. Nobody has doors there. Come on.
Yeah.
But also in like merchandising, fashion, crowd organization, stuff like that. But in this space, for sure. But lots of different stuff. It's kind of she's kind of a bullshit artist in that she just gets to say like that's cool or that's not cool, and people don't question her, and she doesn't give feedback. She's not like that's not cool. Okay, well, what can we do to make it cool? I don't know. That's your problem.
Oh,
I'll take my money and leave. Thanks.
Yeah, you stick strictly to whatever's on the contract, and then you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And the corporations come to you. Okay. Let's hear about some other things, and I can start tying you guys in together. So who wants to go? AP or Steven?
Well, I think I might want to wait because there's an obvious way to tie me in as the reporter to what happened with Roxy, except that we've already established that one of the other players kind of hooked that up. So I'm not sure it's the right thing for me to be tied into.
I mean, you could be tied into it. You could be like on the trail, but that's just going to mean I'm going to threaten to kill your ass later.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it could also be the sort of thing where, like, the reason I'm working with you all now is because I was on that trail, I found it out, and you were like, hey, shut up here. And then that's how, like, I know you and Roxy. But, like...
Oh, yeah, maybe it's like the deal was like, okay, I'll keep my mouth shut, but I get the exclusive expose later. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like that. So I'm a reporter, and I only go by my handle. And when I say reporter, I mean, like, I'm out there on the streets with, like, my camera drone, like, flying around after me. I'm probably, like, live streaming to a website that's called something like The Static Dead End or whatever.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I only go by my online handle, which is xclash.
Nice.
X Clash. So what was the name of your website? Is it
Static Dead End?
Static Dead End? Is that like your own personal blog? Is it just you?
That was what I was curious about. Yeah, is it your website?
I don't think it's a personal blog. I think it's kind of like an underground sort of
Underground future
bloggers.
zine. It's a zine.
Yeah, it's like a zine.
It's Slugline. From
I was about to say it's
House of Cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it's small wet time news. So that means you probably have who have you screwed over for the juiciest news story?
Oh man. Who have I screwed over for the juiciest news story? Would that be like a partner or like someone who was like trusting me to like?
It could have been. It could have been a partner. It could have been a source. It could have been a corporation. It could be another player character.
I think it's got to be some sort of a corporation. Maybe not a corporation. I feel like I'd just be dead if I screwed over a corporation. I'm too smart for that. So maybe a source.
Okay.
So like, maybe I was reporting on like, some sort of additive in the food supply or whatever, and I had a source. Maybe like some sort of like small time government official was like feeding me information on, food processing in. What's the name of our city? Miami?
Yeah, the Miami Megaplex is what we got so far. Yeah.
The Miami Megaplex. Yeah. So like, this individual was feeding my information under the table, and then I was like, okay, here's the expose. Jorge Luis, exposes, huge holes in food safety law in the Miami Megaplex.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I just came up with a name.
Okay.
The person you screwed over is named Elena Okada, and she works for Gloucester Food.
Cool.
Funny thing about Miami as like a cyberpunk city is there's like nothing nearby to connect it to. Like Orlando and Tampa are too far away. So it'd be like this huge city all like jammed in on the end of the peninsula, and then just like swamps and shit everywhere.
Yes, exactly. The glades that constantly have to get like pumped out, right? There's like giant sub pumps just pouring things out of there all the time. Yeah. Of course.
Said she's working for Gloucester Foods?
Yeah, Elena, right? Because you said somebody was
Gloucester.
Yeah. Yeah, the Metroplex sounds better. I agree. Cool. It's now the Metroplex. Okay, so you screwed over her. I'm kind of interested in hearing now what AP has to say. Then we start tying people together.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So what have you settled on?
My playbook says soldier, but I'm really more of a project manager. Occasionally assassin, but really only on a bad day.
Aren't all PMs occasionally assassin?
Yeah.
Everyone I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
My name is Gordon Shugart.
Trying to think of.
I was just that reference, Eric. That's
no
a reference.
No, I was thinking of some kind of what kind of acronym like a scrum would be for an assassin, like a scrum master.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if this is gonna be like Shadowrun, but if it is, then like my cool street name is Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Because it's the only thing I drink.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, ever since Gatorade became an alligator enhancement drug for the alligator fights, people don't drink Gatorade. That's only for alligators.
Oh. Ooh, that gave me some ideas. Awesome. So Gordon, what are you doing now? So you said you were a soldier. So who burned you? Who got you out of
it's
the?
Not that I was burnt. So I'm not really a soldier. I never worked in the military. I was a civilian contractor for the Department of Homeland Security, and they would send me to places to solve problems and like manage things. And over time, I like learned to be very good with weapons. And after your third genocide, you get pretty good at defending yourself. Kosovo.
Where was the last place they sent you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was the last place they sent you?
Last place? I really like the idea of New Melbourne. Like,
Ooh. Okay, so you
A
are
lot better than the old
the
class now.
Austro-New Zealand militarized zone.
yeah. Okay,
We've
so you're,
always been at war with Oceania.
yeah. Okay, so you work for the DHS. You no longer are affiliated with the DHS, right?
That's correct. So originally I wanted my character to be from Burn Notice, kind of like a Michael Weston character.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking more of like Sam Axe. I just hang out in warm Miami and like drink Kool-Aid. Occasionally I'll add alcohol to it, and by occasionally I'll mean several times a day. And I just
Not
wait
100%
for the next
of the time.
time someone needs a project managed, my skills are good at keeping people on track and like well fed and caffeinated, and occasionally they need me to blow open a door and kill several people on the other side of that door.
Yeah. Ooh, so
You're a people person.
Yeah, I really connect on
Listen,
an
there's-
emotional level.
There's two kinds of uncool. There's uncool and there's terminally uncool.
I connect with you at 800 meters per second.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
The
So
only kind of jacket you wear is a full metal jacket.
I feel like emotional level has to be the name of my assault rifle.
Your assault rifle's named Human Resources Department.
how did you? Yeah. How did you? So you're no longer connected with the DHS, right?
Right.
But you-
After
but you have a weapon.
Pulled out and went corporate and became
Yeah.
Homeland Security Solutions. I tried to leave the business, but
The HSS.
once you get out, what is it?
Who wants you dead?
Get out, but they keep trying to pull me back in.
Yeah. Who wants you dead?
Oh, who wants me dead? Well, I mean, there was that thing in Kosovo. There's a bunch of Serbians who are pretty pissed off that I killed their father and 17 of their cousins, but that explosive was meant for someone else.
Ooh. Oh, so it was like a car bomb or something?
I mean, you say car bomb, I say, helicopter. They're essentially a vehicle.
Automatic grenade launcher. Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Motorized explosive.
Oh man, that gave me some. That gave me some really. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. I'm things. The gears are turning.
Do you
Exciting
need a
times.
minute alone with the game, Aaron?
Yeah. All right. I want.
yeah,
for the lonely fun.
The Agata crime family. I was trying to do a hit for the the Department of Homeland Security on, probably some like KGB black site.
Oh.
And I missed the building because I had to jump out of the helicopter.
Man,
So-
the KGB makes the best hamburgers. Their new hamburger franchise is so good.
So I can't help but think that part of what happened in Kosovo is the reason why the DHS became the HSS.
Well, once the civil government collapsed, they were pretty good at what they did. So I figure, as I mentioned earlier, I really like Snow Crash, and one of the best parts of that was the Central Intelligence Corporation, where they were like, yeah, you can just sell intelligence to the Library of Congress. So I figure in a more modern way of doing this, it's like a microtransaction where people are like, I saw this guy eating a hot dog down the street. And you can be like, all right, I want to know who on my street is carrying guns, and I'm willing to pay 5 cents a day for that information. And
Oh,
they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, excellent."
It's like Mechanical Turks.
Yeah.
So like you're like Sherlock Holmes with the Homeless Network, only like you send out a bounty for this information, and people like send like pics and stuff of it.
Yeah, but that's everything the HSS does now.
Oh.
Yep, they're Homeland Security Solutions, watching everything for you.
Oh man! All right, I want to know something. What was X-Clash's run-in with the HSS before? I feel like you've had to have encountered as a
X-Clash.
reporter,
I
right?
mean,
Definitely.
there was this serious expose X-Clash had done. I was maybe involved in it. Bolivia, it was a real mess. There were several civilians that were left dead. After we got done with waterboarding, that was too, it wasn't considered extreme enough.
Yeah.
What's
Some new form of like cyber torture. Yeah, X-Crash definitely was on the trail of that. And we had to get X-Crash out of the country. A couple well-placed shots near X-Crash, take out a couple of their assistants, blow up a few cars that they were standing near. Eventually, you got the message. Go home.
All right. Is it Clash or Crash, by the way?
Clash.
Clash. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there was a
Like the
question in
band.
chat as to whether that was hyphenated or not.
No, it's capital X, capital C.
And it's confusing because in the localization of this game, it came out as Crash, but that happens sometimes.
Translated for American audiences.
His favorite weapon is the Gradius. It's a short sword for stabbing.
There's only one Crash in this game. I'm sorry. Can't have two.
Awesome. So where's Gordon staying in the Miami Metroplex?
So, unlike the rest of these layabouts, I think Gordon is deeply tied to the Miami community.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Gordon being like, now that I've killed a ton of people and seen a ton of genocide, now he tries to make up for his life by like protecting people on the street. Just
Sure.
as being,
So what neighborhood have you earned like, you know?
Oh, it's definitely the gutter.
the savior.
Absolutely.
It has to be the gutter?
What's it called, John?
La Cuneta.
Yeah, La Cuneta. Sorry.
Yeah, I definitely live there, and I probably live in like an apartment building that I protect from gangs and stuff. It takes up a lot of my time when I'm not drinking.
Okay. Okay, so it definitely seems like things are happening in La Cuneta. Okay. I was hoping to get some other.
Anything to happen to it, bro.
Yeah, I was hoping to get some other parts of the city as well to tie in, but we'll see. So I want to go back and jump back to Hollis. I want to connect Hollis with X Clash. So I'm looking over here. I guess X probably have covered something sort of fashion related. Probably.
Well, as far as Hollis is concerned, Hollis and I know each other because I was investigating into Roxy's fall, and I like sort of dug up, and like a couple of trails pointed back in Hollis's direction, and I figured that at some point, like I came to Hollis and
to a meeting, to a meeting with Coke Fashion, and you connected that Hollis was at that meeting.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, like I was like referencing like timetables and dates and times of like, you know, known inhabitants of Hollis and stuff, and being like, oh, there's only one place that she could have been at that time, and it's at that meeting with Coke Fashion. Yeah, so like eventually I kind of like, I think X Clash, like he values the truth and he values releasing information to the public, but he also values being able to keep living and keep living. I think like after he came back from Bolivia, like he didn't really have a lot. Like that was a really cold trail for him because, you know, he just drew too much heat. So he didn't get paid for it, right? And you know, it was due, and you know, maybe he had some debts that came up, and he really needed the out. So finally, he just went to Hollis and like applied the screws and was like, "Hey, look, you know, I got it all here. There's a story. It's already, you know, rendering in the cloud. If I don't push the stop button by, you know, 0200 tomorrow, it goes live. But I know you don't want that, so let's talk.
Let's make a deal." Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, he backseated his ideals of reporter integrity for the benefit of the long-term plan of continuing to be able to report.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have like directly opposed viewpoints on like the truth.
Yeah.
Given that I think it's like, for me, my job is telling people what the truth is before they've even asked the question.
Yeah.
Right? About being like, this is the right thing.
You
like,
define the next truth.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like on the other side, like digging at it, like, is it?
By the time, in my mind, like by the time you know about a thing, I'm like, no one cares about that anymore. Like,
yeah.
We're all
and
on
I'm
the
like,
next
this
thing.
is all anybody cares about.
Yeah. Good.
The people will care when they know.
But like your character, you've got a lot of like Hollis is an idea woman. So for me, having someone around that can actually do legwork and can go and ask questions and like after the fact, after I've declared something to be true, it's nice to have you to like support that. To be like, see, just go and find proof, find evidence that I'm right.
Yep, totally.
I'm loving it. Roxy, how did you save Gordon? Who'd you save him from? I need to start getting more cross connections.
Yeah.
Is it liver damage? Is that slapped a drink out of his hand?
Slapped a drink out of his hand.
Saved his life, everybody.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. It was because Gordon is also this sort of Miami, like a local connected person. I see you, Gordon. Correct me if I'm wrong here, AP. Like you're more of a player in that scene, and Roxy's more of like someone who just grew up in it. Like she's not really like,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up here, but I've been here for like 20 years.
Yeah, like people owe you, and you like manipulate situations and stuff. And I just kind of know people, so it's a different vibe. And I think maybe ads where you like pissed off the wrong people. Like that happens a lot.
Yeah, I want to maybe AP
pissing off the wrong people.
Yeah.
Come on,
AP. Who are you? Yeah, who are you protecting? Your little family or apartment complex in La Cuneta from?
I feel like it definitely has to be someone that goes hand to hand, especially if Roxy got involved with it. Like maybe Roxy showed up and just started beating the hell out of them. Maybe it's some sort of like street gang that only does like chains and like hand-to-hand combat. Some sort of like ethnic group, maybe, or some sort of social connection.
I like the idea that okay.
Well, what about if like part of some social outreach program, Monsanto was like, look, instead of making food that's better to eat, let's make people who can do better things with the food they're already eating. So they like infuse goat DNA into like, I don't know, like a bunch of randomly selected families.
Yeah, who all happened to live in like one block on downtown.
Yeah. And so they maybe they turned into some kind of like, like food obsessive like garbage cult, and that's like. Right, because we talked about the thing before, right?
Yep, totally.
Oh yeah, like what if they have some sort of like alteration where they can just like kind of eat garbage?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is like, we want you with this. You can eat anything. Obviously, they discontinued it because they realized like making it so people could eat anything, like including like barocrete and like rebar and shit. So it was like, whatever, forget it.
Oh, so they have to have a good name. I was thinking like Children of the Maw, but that sounds too apocalyptic.
I mean, they probably wouldn't have a name beyond
just like the family.
Monsanto Random Test Group 37.
Exactly, yeah. Monsanto would have a corporate name for them, certainly, but I bet you they're probably like just this whatever family, like because it's the same gene strain. They were like, all right, well, we could just experiment on these people.
Call them the Soylent Osiris.
Yeah. Los Mandibulos.
There you go. Bunch of goat bastards.
Yeah, I think the situation.
Can we call them the Chupacabras? Yeah, Chad's behind that one.
Chupacabras.
Absolutely, the Chupacabras. It's Miami.
Yeah, maybe the situation was one where Gordon would have had to escalate to, his like expertise of airstrikes or machine guns or whatever he does.
Let's be clear here. I'm really awful at punching people. My stat at punching people is my worst stat, and so I probably like drunkenly stumbled into the street and was just getting the crap beaten out of me, and I was like, "I'll be back. I'll take you down."
So it wasn't. I wasn't
saving my boys in the HSS.
Yeah, so I wasn't saving Gordon per se. I was saving these people from whatever he was gonna do. At his level of combat would be like to like blow them up or something. So,
and I feel like that.
I made an example of one of them, and that.
I feel like that event is what brought the whole like garbage eater like clan into the public spotlight, because like we made sure that Roxy was in the place to discover that situation and to fight them and to kick the shit out of them, to both show that they exist as a thing, to start that meme going, but also, they're really scary and tough, but look who beat them up.
Yeah, let's assume that everything my character
got it.
Let's assume that everything my character does, Adam, Hollis has planned ahead of time. That's just a given.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, I guess, Roxy, how do you feel about Coke Fashion now that they kicked you out, right?
Yeah, they. Part of Hollis's manipulation, I guess, was to...
When they kick you out, they try to kill you, right? Like that's.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they try to terminate.
That's part of the media blitz, right? Is the scene where I come out of the club and like some dude with a minigun opens fire and like blows my cyber arm off, and I beat him to death with it.
Oh my god, yeah. What if?
Yeah.
I bet you Coke tried to kill you, but you like one up them one time and got a huge surge in popularity from it, and now they're like, will try, like kind of like Coyote and Roadrunner it, just to be like, will they kill you this time? So like they kind of want you to keep alive because you keep driving sales and attention to you. So like they're like, oh, if we kill you, it'd be awesome. But if we don't, oh, that's fine, because we still made a bunch of money and people were watching.
Yeah, there's been 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah.
Hit attempts, and I sometimes when I'm at the club, like I wear like this red like metallic sheen high collar Coke fashion dress that I've like shredded up and stitched back together so it says like cock across the front of it. And it's just this big fuck you to them, but that just is all part of the overall media strategy, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch my sugar intake. I only drink Diet Cock.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So yeah, maybe it's this ongoing thing of like the dare, they keep trying to kill me, and I keep like upping the ante, like trying to insult them more, trying to find out where the local sales rep lives, and go break their legs or whatever.
Hollis, why do you no longer work with Coke Fashion?
Because they're fucking played out, man. Because they're done. We're moving Roxy onto bigger, better things. Yeah. They just don't know it yet, and the rest of the world doesn't know it either. They still
just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest rival?
Like,
did you have a mentor, or is you self-taught?
I think it's self-taught, right?
Yeah,
Which is why she's so undisciplined. But I think as far as like rivalry goes, it's not an individual, but there's probably some like global advertising firm that sees her as this like aberration to be like stomped out. And they've offered me a job a bunch of times. They're like, you could be our creative director of the Soul branch or whatever. I'm like, get fucked. I don't need you. So yeah, there's some like huge, and it's probably like one of those ones that's so big that it just has like a name that's like initials, right? That it's like the 4 partners or whatever.
Yeah, I have Dornier Relations.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so they're like after me either to like recruit me or just like get rid of me, control me or get rid of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there's also there's like a direct eliminate you or hire you level, and then there's also the can they use your strategies to like backdoor into what they're doing, and you're trying to do the same to them. So there's like 3-way Yomi layer, shit going on.
Totally. Yeah.
They're never sure if your rejection of their offer like helps you in the media or something, and so
it's all part of this like constructed narrative for both of us, and like sometimes we work together by accident just because that's the thing that works the narrative the best. I like. It
almost seems like it's like a wrestling arrangement, but not fully scripted.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you've got like this. You've got heat with you.
Oh my god, now I just thought of something. Yeah. Gordon, how do you feel about this? About when you were doing stuff in Kosovo with the DHS, you were working with tandem with Coke forces to destroy Pepsi in Eastern Europe.
I mean, I can definitely see that. The DHS definitely needs some funding before they became the HSS. So
what do you think? What do you think the P in PMC stands for? It's Pepsi Military Contractors.
That's right.
They got the right stuff.
Pepsi.
To kill.
Oh, I love it.
See, like these East European like military surplus tanks rolling up with a giant
Pepsi logo. Yeah.
Damn.
Man, we're really playing into the other cyberpunk touchstone we didn't talk about. Jennifer Government, the novel, it's very much in this vein. Definitely check it out if you haven't read it. It's great.
Awesome. Okay, so I think the big corporate group that's really kicking everybody together is Coke Fashion. So I think that's going to be, for the purposes of the one shot, going to be our corporate thing. So I think everybody has some sort of connection to Coke, except X-Clash. you realized there was coke from how you met with Hollis. But I guess today's mission then will be all about coke. So before we begin, then I just need a couple more questions about what coke is doing and why you guys would be doing a mission against them. I guess I want to know. This might tie into some of our directives. So if we can look at our directives and choose some sort of kind of like some of our directives, I can ask some questions about maybe some looking into more of the past of what happens, sort of like a past of coke with you guys, and sort of develop something from there.
Yeah.
So give you a quick second to look over your directives. There should be.
I got directives for you.
Yeah, I got mine figured out too.
Okay. Whoever wants to go, let me know either the first one or the second directives, or if you have both.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's hear you do one, and then I'll do one, and we'll go back to you.
Okay. I have the behavioral directive. Describe my ethical code. When adhering to the code, I gain a mark experience if it hinders the mission. And my ethical code is keep civilians out of harm's way, fix more problems than I cause, no one left behind.
Ooh.
I'm trying to fix the mistakes of my past, and I can never make up for what I did in New Melbourne, but, Miami Metroplex needs someone now.
Yeah, so I want to know, who did Coke kill, and why do you hate Coke now for it?
Who did Coke kill?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
How
no
about the
wonder.
thousands of people who died of obesity in America?
Yeah.
How about them?
Yes.
Who didn't Coke kill?
Yeah, I
Yes.
feel like it's not. There's no one name. This isn't like
Okay.
Especially when they start
like
that tobacco
one
brand,
person
Coke
on
smokes. Damn. Try a Coke and
Literally
smoke
like-
today.
Coke flavored vaping was really
Yeah.
big in the 20.
Oh my god, come on down to the Coke and smoke.
I got DJ Wheat to.
Yep.
Yikes.
Okay. All right, then that works then. Okay. Fashion. Okay. So, Hollis, it would kind of make sense. Hollis, what was your directives?
I took financial for one of mine.
Yeah, so you want to take money.
Hindering the mission is a chance of extra profit.
Okay. All right.
Get paid.
Yeah. I can't help but think that Dornier offered you a contract to kill or take something from Coke. I think on the side. I'm having trouble. What do you think that was? What would it take for Dornier to for you to get like an interview with them? For this?
So Dornier and I would both be like Coke would be the target for both of us, right? Like
Yeah.
they'd have operatives proposing designs for
yeah.
like a new logo or some new combat wear or whatever. Maybe they're releasing like a new shoe line this year.
Yeah.
And Dornier would be the ones trying to vie for the contract, but I'm also like a free agent doing the same, right?
Okay, so you're both going. Okay, yeah, so you're both going after, and it's considered an interview. If you can survive their, if you can beat them to the punch, then okay. Okay, so probably some sort of like fashion or military. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then my other directive is violent. So
Yeah.
when I deliberately choose to use violence to overcome a problem, when a non-violent option exists, mark experience.
Oh, nice. That's perfect for this one.
Yeah.
And I guess a couple more questions for X Clash, for Coke.
Yeah.
I think one of your moves is like a scoop, right?
Yeah, so like the starting moves that I have are to live and on the air, which is like when I go live from the scene and broadcast a stream to expose my target. And then nose for a story, which like at the start of a mission, I should roll edge. And then during the mission, I spend hold in order to like do research or monster or gather evidence, things like that. And then I can gather evidence, which is, just finding a story. And then I also took live 24/7 live feeds. So that just means that my research is always more effective.
Okay.
Because I feel like X-Clash is not really much of a people person. Like he's kind of a loner. He doesn't like talking to people. He's not really good at like hounding them or whatever, but he's really good at doing that back channel research of like watching the feeds and scraping for everything and like collecting all the muck he finds into one folder that he then like makes copies of and then passes around.
Okay. So how would you guys be being tied in together then? I guess it depends. If this mission is going to be against Coke, we're gonna probably start with some opening scenes of actually like getting the mission and everything like that. But so then Hollis would okay. Oh yeah, okay. You probably would know for X Clash because he would probably be like one of your sources for something on like a kind of like someone in the beat, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm having trouble seeing a connection between Hollis and Gordon. Maybe just the time you guys work together.
So all of my moves that I've taken or that were given to me all involve boosting party rolls up. If I'm doing things right, everybody should be rolling at a +2 on pretty much everything. And if I'm doing things wrong, then it's going to get a lot worse for you very quickly. And so I literally am a project manager. Like, you call me when you need something done. Occasionally that thing done is a body. Possibly going deep into the Miami Harbor.
Well, like, I mean, oh, right, no, Hollis is the pusher.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I want to know a time when you guys worked together and how it went bad.
Like me and
Yeah, Hollis and Gordon. Yeah, Hollis and Gordon.
I don't know. I feel like there are times where like I can't, because this is the thing, is I need somebody who can do violent things for me and like get shit done that isn't always Roxy, because I don't want to like her. I have to protect her image, right?
Yeah.
Like I have to very carefully orchestrate what she does. Whereas with this guy, I don't give a fuck. Nobody knows him, right? Like it's like, cool, you do the thing that I don't want Roxy to be seen doing.
Yeah. And I'm completely fine with doing that because most of the people you're pointing me at are complete scum.
Yeah, sure.
And the other people you're pointing me at, well, I like money too.
That's right.
Ooh.
And maybe too, Steven, I don't know what you think about this, but maybe we lean on X-Clash to some degree. Like, Roxy doesn't know this, but since X-Clash is sort of in on the gambit with Hollis, maybe one of our main media streams for my image is X-Clashes.
Static Dead End.
It's an X-Clash, an X-Clash exclusive.
God, yeah.
I think a lot of the time, like you and I, Steven, your character and I have had conversations about like where I'll be like, all right, you should post this, and you write something, and I'll be like, oh, change this thing, and you're like, but that's not true, and I'm like, it will be by the time this goes out. Don't worry.
Sure. Yeah. Like, I think working with you is something I regard as like a necessary evil. Like, it irritates me to work with you, but I do it because you get me money.
Yeah, you're the Zoe to my Francis.
Yeah. I mean, and also, like, for whatever reason, like, my streams just never took off when I was doing it on my own. But then when I started working with you, all of a sudden I started getting way more views. Like, I don't necessarily attribute that to you, even though it seems obvious from the outside perspective. But like, yeah.
Well, and I don't think it's like I'm not a publicly known figure, right? Like nobody knows who Hollis Halloran is.
Yeah. It's just that like all of a sudden X-Clash started reporting on slightly different topics in slightly different ways, and like way more people were interested.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to like orient us a little bit, you guys tell me what you think. But this is a thought that just crossed my mind. Like, because we've all played games in this vein, just until this second, I was kind of thinking Shadowrun a little too much. I think like we're not really Shadowrunners like that. We don't all get together, the four of us, in a van and like drive to headquarters and like break into a facility together. Like that's not what we do. Our missions are more like go to the club and do the thing that promotes the fighter image and also gets X-Clash's story and also makes Cook look bad and totally. Project manages the interaction.
I mean, I delve into that on occasion, but only when the money's really good.
Well, and sometimes that's a part of it. But yeah, I think you're right, John, in that a lot of what we're doing is subtler than your average Shadowrun. Operates on a higher level for sure.
Well, we all have actual lives, and we don't want someone, murdering us in our sleep, so...
But we do have these sort of coordinated, like, events that maybe only Hollis and Gordon and X-Clash understand is a thing.
Yeah.
And but it isn't the, like, infiltrator kind of thing. Like, that's just not what our crew is about.
Sure.
I just wanted to double check and make sure we're on the same page there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, then I think we're good. I'm ready to begin. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our first break. I'm gonna restart the stream because I know some people were saying that it's kind of laggy because I don't think I've ever had this many people before. I know I haven't had this many people before. I think Twitch. I'm gonna adjust my Twitch settings a little bit.
Don't restart the stream, bro.
No?
You have quality options right now.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, if you restart it, you're gonna lose that.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right then, that's cool. I didn't know that. Thank you. Good to know. Okay, so I'm getting ready. I'm gonna draw some clocks during our break then, and then we'll come back. I didn't go to the bathroom anyways, so we'll come back in 5 minutes and start our first section of the sprawl with getting our missions.
Cool.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much. So we'll see you soon.
Yeah, it was laggy.